that's a very that's a very I mean, where do I begin? First and foremost, um, thanks for having me. I guess you could say that I wouldn't be uh, in front of the camera right now if not for the IT program in UA&P, for the mere fact that I managed to make this Zoom um, setup work. But beyond that, um, the IT program in UA&P was, and I believe still is, one of a kind when I was um, hunting for my next step after high school. I was specifically looking for a program that was gonna give me an edge in what was then the .com bubble, right? Everything was looking like technology was everything, and I wanted to be part of that. Like a lot of fresh graduates back then. But apart from taking something that was purely technical or purely in the computer sciences, I wanted a experience that added a side that was more well, business was the first thing that came into my mind, but it wasn't just that. I wanted one that would allow me to appreciate the side of the industry that wasn't just computers, you know, because I quickly realized that while technology had a lot to do with programming and development of software, the development of hardware, and coming up with technological solutions to everyday problems, there was also a side of that industry that thought about what the problems were, that thought about who were the people who would be concerned about these problems, so who would think about how do we get this solution to the people who will need them. I wanted that, you know, that whole experience. I wanted to be sure. I wanted to be able to know how to answer those kinds of questions, as well as come up with the actual technological solutions. So that's where the IT program in UA&P actually came about. And when I was in uni, I got more than what I was expecting. It was a mixed bag of experiences, but overall it was more than what I expected. I got exactly what I wanted in terms of experiencing and learning about business and technology, and the combination of the two and how they work together, how they come up, how they are essentially just both of them are part of the solution that we can offer to people. But apart from that, I also got an experience because it was enriched by the what was called CAS. I'm not sure if that's what it's still called today. But the liberal arts aspect of my uni experience enriched that even more so. I got an education that not only taught me about the techniques or the methodologies or all of the important buzzwords that was flying around during that time, it also gave me the tools to keep on asking. Not very soon, or actually not very soon after around the time I finished in uni. the dot-com bubble burst, right? The thing that I was so excited to participate in suddenly was collapsing upon itself because of the weight, all of what's been available. Suddenly, the demand was the supply was too much, and that kind of scared me. But at the same time, I felt that I was ready to deal with that particular situation because I did not only have a purely business point of view in my learning, in my education, or I did not only have a technology point of view in my education. I had enough skill set that to give me the capability to look at the situation, realize that, hey, okay, so the dot-com bubbles burst, excuse me, it's no longer the same situation that I came into uni anymore, but there are still problems to be solved. There are still issues or pain points that businesses have that technology can solve. The question now is, okay, this was the paradigm, 3-4 years. For the past 3 or 4 years, things have shifted now. What should I do? And I found myself capable of answering that question because of my learning experience. And that's essentially how I got to where I am now. One of the key things that we had in the IT program was a lot of hands-on when it came to SAP. So that's the type of work I'm doing right now. SAP is a product, it's an enterprise solution that I was able to leverage both back in Manila and when I moved over here in Australia. It was, and my experience with SAP was both in the technical side and in the more on the analysis side. Again, analysis was a skill that would probably not be as strongly focused on had I decided to take something that was more technical oriented, more technical focus, because analysis, especially when it comes to business processes, was usually left to a different role, like for the business analysts to ask the questions. And I found myself capable of asking those same questions, which helped me move around in the industry. So I've been able to take on roles that had a more technical flair, but still talk to my business counterparts without sounding like without using too much technical jargon. And then at the same time, I was able to come up with technical solutions after listening to business needs, and then translating it into something that's a technical solution. So it's helped me in both situations, and that's where I keep finding myself. I keep finding myself, thankful that I've been able to, that I've had this kind of education, because I seem to, at the very least, I have a lot of options. I find myself having options, regardless of the climate of how much technology is available. For one, technology will always be needed. There will be times wherein the investment might not be as strong as during the .com era, and there will be times wherein money is just falling from the sky. But in both situations, I find myself able to move around in the industry and participate meaningfully in various aspects of it. In addition, in addition as well, I don't find myself getting bored by uh, being boxed into one particular part of the industry or one particular type of technology, which is great. I'm of the type of personality that does get bored after a while. After the repetition, I tend to look for something new and creative, and my ability, I always fall back into, okay, so what's the demand now, and I'm able to quickly, I guess, take advantage of what current skill I have in order to upskill myself into the next thing that I'd like to take advantage, that I'd like to do. That's in the industry.